of us come from, idyllic settings, let's say.
Yeah.
And we found comfort in each other, and it
Mhm.
was around a bonfire generally
Yeah.
with a lot of cans,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was it. And it was every night
Yeah.
drinking every night,
Mhm.
and then some nights would be ecstasy and that type of stuff. Then, and it was fun. It was fun, but then once the tablets started coming in, we started getting prescriptions from I won't name the doctor, but he was on Cathedral Road, and he used to give us out copious amount of tablets. And there was like I remember going into that doctor with a story given to me from my friend's older brother. Um, just tell him that you're on your out of prison. Tell him you were on this and that and the other in prison, and he'll give him chat. So I went in 17 with a macchiato at birth, because you have to be 18 to get these tablets. And I was a skinny, scrawny 17-year-old, like innocent looking. Do you know what I mean? I went in thinking I was just going to be ran out the door. He's going to see right through me. Then he says, I was in Cork prison there for a year, and I was on Rohypnol, diazepam 10, and DF118s, and he just started writing.
Jesus
And I
Christ.
come out there thinking, oh my God,
Yeah.
down to the chemist in Shannon Street, come out with about 150 tranquilizers and sleepers, barbiturates, everything. And from then on, it was just mayhem,
Madness.
because we were still drinking around bonfires, but no, we were taking tablets as well, and we were blanking out. And like yourself, waking up in custody was a very common thing to do. Not knowing what was after happening, getting charges in the door for stuff that you no recollection of doing, all antisocial behaviour. But some then, I remember then, one time, me and a friend of mine, we were out drinking now and taking tablets and taking ecstasy as well, and we couldn't get a bang off, we couldn't come up off the ecstasy, so we robbed the car, and it wasn't even the joyride, it was just, we robbed the car and drove it down the lane so we'd somewhere to turn on the radio and heat us up. But there was no concept of that somebody actually owned that car, and somebody probably worked very hard for it, and it was probably somebody's pride and joy, and you're after just taking it there now. There was none of that, and I remember, for a car there when I was about 18, 19, I got 8 months in prison, and looking back, I think, maybe if they sat me in front of the victim of the crime, they say I took your car, prison, I didn't give a shit about prison, and it's not been a hard man, it wasn't. I looked forward to the day that I go into a place where my peers were in there, my family had been in there, and it was like a kind of
A reunion.
yeah, it was like a way that you showed.
You fit in.
Yeah, it was like in other cultures they have like when you become a man, kind of rituals, it was like that for us, do you know what I mean? It was like, oh, he's been to prison, he's staunch, he didn't rat, and it was all this kind of the mentality of what a man actually was very warped, so when I went into prison that time, 8 months, I remember going up onto A3, and it was like Knocknaheeny and Hollyhill. It was just like everybody up there was from my area.
Yeah.
And I was in there with, some of my friends that was locked up in there, and it was great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I remember those times.
Yeah.
They were great. You were one of the people that I really was surprised with,
Yeah.
Because I always looked at you and you were a really, really quiet young fella. You were a gifted footballer, gifted soccer player, and I always thought that you could definitely go far. Yourself and another kid that used to live up by us as well, the same guy, he was very, very talented, until alcohol and drugs came into the scene, But did you get your leaving cert done around all this madness?
I got my leaving cert done in 2003, and I say I done my leaving cert in 2003, around July, let's say, and I was in Cork prison in November 2004.
Okay.
So it was a very quick escalation. And like you were saying, I was a quiet young fella. I still am quiet.
Yeah, definitely.
I am quiet. I always was quiet.
Yeah.
But the tablets and the alcohol, just, I suppose it changed my character, you know what I mean? And I done stuff that I brought up a lot of shame and a lot of guilt. I was out of control,
Yeah.
It was like blanking out. And it was never about, using socially, have a bit of crack. There was a part of that, but it was always using to get flattened. It was like getting cans, but getting a bottle of porno on the side.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
my dad used to say to me, "You're the only man in Cork to wake up in the morning and take 10 sleeping tablets."
That was the way it was
Yeah,
back then, though.
and you're around then for the day, complete like a zombie.
Yeah.
But you know what it was? I was quiet and I was shy
Hmm.
and I was so insecure that if I didn't have all them tablets in me,
Hmm.
I couldn't function as a
Hmm.
human. I couldn't go to the shop. I was brutal around women.
Hmm.
You know, if I was getting attention from a girl,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to cope with it unless I was throwing over my head.
Hmm.
And then it's like, you're grand. Do you know what I mean? The tablets gave me everything that I didn't have. Do you know?
Hmm.
The confidence, the self-esteem, all this stuff. Do you know, when you're taking Valium and Rohypnol and stuff like that, you don't give a fuck about
No.
anything like that. Like,
Oh no.
it's just like, this is who I am. Take me or leave me.
Yeah.
Full of confidence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I always chased that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always chased that. And but getting back to the prison thing, up in A3. Oh yeah, I'll go back to the guy that we took his car. No,
Okay.
looking back now,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it would have been very beneficial if I had to meet that person
Hmm.
across the table like this, and for him to tell me what my actions had impact on him. You
Hmm.
know, about how he works hard for it. It was his pride and joy. I think that would have had a way more impact on me than the prison sentence, really. But we never, like, living in an area like that, like, we didn't have nice cars and we didn't have, nice things like that.
Hmm.
So we never had any connection with the people that did.
Yeah.
And like, if we were treated harshly and we treated them harshly in return, that was just the way of the world. And sometimes you get it, and sometimes you receive it. And
I think that's a very, very valuable point what you made there. Confronting the person that you hurt.
yeah,
And it's something that a lot of people do in recovery. You know,
yeah,
they try to make amends to people that they hurt during their addiction, alcoholism, whatever it is.
yeah,
And sometimes people accept it, and sometimes people don't accept it,
mm,
But you've often said something to me, what you're doing at the moment is one way of making amends to your community
yeah,
and people that you may have came across in your lifetime,
yeah,
hurt or whatever, and I know you'd always, if someone approached you and something happened in the past, I know you'd always, put your hands up and
yeah,
say, listen, I apologize, like myself,
yeah,
which I would have
yeah.
apologized
Like,
last week.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the guilt and the shame of it all really shows. Like, the guilt and the shame showed me that I wasn't, that deep down I was actually a good person. But I was doing things that weren't good,
Yeah.
and I was hurting people, and it didn't sit with me at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I did come into recovery, I was able to go around to some people that I felt, would have been safe for me and safe for them for it to happen. But sometimes I did things that I probably can't remember, or sometimes I did things to people that it wouldn't be best for me to approach them. So then, how do I make amends? I do it in a kind of a general way. I wanted to help people, so I kind of got a job helping people and to do this. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if there's still people out there that's hurt, I'm wholly apologetic.
Okay.
But just know, like, that I wasn't a cold person.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Or I'm not a cold person. I was maybe
Mm-hmm.
under the influence of substances, and but there was a lot of guilt and there's a lot of regrets there as well.
Yeah.
You were talking about the football thing.
Yeah.
I lived to play football when
Yeah.
I was a child, but I didn't kick a ball between the ages 16 and 32.
Yeah.
Like, that's 16 years of my life. And now looking back, this is probably the one big regret I have.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I played football, and it's not about playing. I'd love to have even played AUL, but just to have a career and the camaraderie and to get the Turner's Cross on. I wish to have played in Turner's Cross, But I gave up all my good years, my athlete years, let's say, for drinking, drugs in prison.